You ever notice something strange? Put 10 people in a room during a big sports final. 9 of them are shouting, sweating, emotionally invested like their life depends on the score. And one person is calm, quiet, watching, or maybe not even watching at all, scrolling, thinking, detached. And everyone else looks at that one person like something is wrong with them. Bro, how are you not excited? Don't you feel anything? Are you even human? But here's the twist nobody tells you. The one who is not emotionally hijacked is often the one who understands emotional control the most. Today we're talking about the psychology of people who don't obsess over sports. Not the haters, not the fake intellectuals, not the "I'm different" show-offs. I'm talking about the naturally detached minds, the people who don't tie their identity to a team, who don't feel personal victory when strangers win, who don't feel personal defeat when strangers lose. And once you understand how their mind works, you'll see this is not emptiness. This is wiring. This is personality structure. This is attention economy in action. Most people never question why sports obsession feels normal. It starts in childhood, family cheers, school teams, national pride, tribal colors, loud emotions, shared shouting. It becomes social glue, belonging without effort, identity without building one. But the non-obsessed mind asks, even if silently, one dangerous question: what exactly am I emotionally investing in? And that single question changes everything. See, the human brain is built for tribes. Ancient tribes meant survival. If your group won, you lived. If your group lost, you died. Modern sports hijack that same tribal circuit, same chemicals, same adrenaline, same dopamine spikes. Your brain reacts as if survival is happening, even though you're sitting on a sofa with snacks. People who don't obsess over sports often have weaker tribal identity wiring, but stronger individual identity wiring. They don't merge self with group easily. Their brain does not blur the line between me and them quickly. That's not coldness. That's psychological boundary strength. These people usually show this pattern in other areas too. They don't blindly follow trends. They don't instantly join hype waves. They don't emotionally buy into crowds fast. They observe first, attach later, if at all. From outside, they look uninterested. From inside, they are selective. There's another layer: attention value. Obsessive fans happily give 3 hours of full emotional attention to a game. The non-obsessed mind feels friction there, not because they hate sports, but because their brain constantly calculates attention cost versus personal return. High autonomy minds guard attention like currency. They subconsciously ask, what do I gain from deep emotional investment here? Does this improve my life? Does this grow my skill, my money, my mind, my control? If the answer is weak, emotional intensity stays low. This is strongly linked with internal locus of control personalities, people who focus on what they can influence directly. Sports outcomes are uncontrollable to viewers. That reduces emotional hook automatically. Control-oriented minds bond with controllable arenas: skills, projects, ideas, systems, strategy, creation, not spectator outcomes. Notice something else. Many non-obsessed sports viewers prefer strategy games over physical sports: chess, markets, war strategy, psychology battles, negotiation, business competition. Because their dopamine comes from decision layers, not physical spectacle layers. Their thrill is mental, not kinetic. Now here's where it gets deeper. Social identity fusion. Sports obsession often becomes identity outsourcing. Instead of building personal achievement, a person borrows emotional achievement from a team. We won. We destroyed them. We are champions. Non-obsessed minds resist identity outsourcing. They feel discomfort saying "we" for something they didn't personally build. That discomfort is psychological ownership integrity. They don't feel fake pride easily, and that trait, listen carefully, is strongly correlated with long-term self-development types: builders, makers, designers, writers, analysts, system thinkers, solo achievers, deep specialists. Because their pride circuit is wired to earned results, not adopted victories. But this comes with a social cost. They often feel slightly out of place in high-energy group environments. Locker room energy, stadium energy, chanting crowds, mass emotional waves. Their nervous system doesn't synchronize easily with collective emotional surges. They are low emotional contagion types. Emotional contagion is when you catch feelings from a crowd automatically, like laughter spreading, panic spreading, rage spreading. Sports crowds run on emotional contagion fuel. If your brain has lower contagion response, crowds feel loud, not magical. These people also tend to process emotions cognitively before feeling them physically. There is a thinking filter before emotional surge. That slows hyperabsorption. By the time they analyze, the crowd has already screamed. Another interesting marker, delayed emotional bonding style. These personalities take longer to attach emotionally to anything, people, hobbies, teams, communities. They warm slowly, but when they attach deeply and privately, not loudly. They are depth bonders, not mass bonders. You'll also notice they prefer one-to-one conversations over group shouting, long-form thinking over fast reaction, essays over highlights, books over scoreboards. Their stimulation threshold is different. Sports obsession is high stimulation, fast reward, fast emotional spikes. Non-obsessed brains often prefer low stimulation, slow reward, deep processing environments. It's not superiority, it's nervous system preference. And here's something most people miss. Many of them actually enjoy sports, but quietly. They may watch tactics, patterns, coaching decisions, psychological pressure behavior, not tribal outcome drama. They study the game, not worship the game. That's analyst mode versus fan mode. Fan mode says, win matters. Analyst mode says, pattern matters. Different brain loop. There's also a link with introversion, but not always. Many introverts don't obsess over sports because their emotional energy budget is limited. Loud emotional waves feel draining, not energizing. But some extroverts also don't obsess, especially high-agency extroverts, who prefer participation over observation. They'd rather play than watch, action greater than spectator. Another psychological angle, narrative attachment. Sports fans attach to storylines, underdog, revenge, rivalry, legacy. Non-obsessed minds often resist pre-built narratives. They prefer open systems where outcomes are not emotionally pre-packaged. They don't like emotional scripting. You can predict this trait outside sports too. They don't fall easily for political drama narratives, celebrity worship, hype cycles, viral outrage storms, same mechanism, narrative resistance. Now let's talk about emotional regulation. People who don't obsess over sports often show higher baseline emotional regulation, not because they trained it, but because their reward triggers are less externally driven. External triggers equals crowds, events, noise, score changes. Internal triggers equals progress, mastery, insight, creation. Internal trigger systems produce calmer emotional curves, which is why many of these people appear too calm during events others find intense. They are not suppressing, they are differently stimulated. There is also a risk side. Not obsessing can sometimes drift into emotional detachment patterns if extreme. If someone disconnects from all shared emotional experiences, they may slowly reduce social bonding opportunities. Balance matters. Healthy version equals selective emotional investment. Unhealthy version equals emotional withdrawal from collective joy. Big difference. You'll also see many of them dislike emotional unpredictability. Sports outcomes are volatile. Volatility creates emotional swings. Control-seeking minds reduce exposure to volatile emotional environments. Same reason some avoid gambling, hype trading, drama media. Emotional variance avoidance. Let me give you a real-life micro-example. Two friends watch a match. Final minutes. One is screaming, one is silent. Silent one is not bored. He is observing body language, fatigue signals, tactical shift, decision pressure. He is inside a different layer of the same event. Surface emotion versus structural awareness. Different viewing lens. And this lens often develops in people who spend more time alone thinking than reacting socially. Solitude increases meta-awareness. Meta-awareness reduces emotional immersion. When you see the mechanism, magic reduces, insight increases. That applies everywhere, not just sports. Another trait, delayed dopamine preference. They prefer rewards that come after long effort, not instant thrill spikes. That's why they often enjoy learning curves more than victory moments. Practice greater than applause. Their brain lights up more during improvement than celebration. This also explains why many of them prefer behind-the-scenes documentaries over live matches. Process over performance. Let's go one layer deeper. Identity independence. Sports obsession is socially approved identity merging. It's safe merging. No one mocks you for it. But identity-independent personalities resist all forms of identity merging, even safe ones. They protect psychological individuality strongly. They don't like saying we unless it's truly theirs. That same trait later helps in leadership, entrepreneurship, creative mastery, because independent identity tolerates standing alone. Standing alone is painful, but powerful. And here's a truth most won't admit. Some non-obsessed sports minds are simply future-focused. Their mental timeline is forward-heavy. Sports is present-moment-heavy. Their attention keeps drifting toward what they are building, not what is happening. Builder brains don't sit easily in spectator mode. They feel restless watching long events they can't influence. Influence hunger reduces passive consumption. There's also cognitive style difference. Abstract thinkers versus sensory thinkers. Sports is sensory rich. Movement, sound, color, speed. Abstract thinkers prefer idea spaces, concepts, models, invisible systems. Mind theater greater than field theater. Now notice, none of this means they are smarter. It means they are wired differently. But society mislabels difference as defect. Not excited equals boring. Not shouting equals dull. Not obsessed equals lifeless. Wrong frame. Calm attention is not lack of passion. It is redirected passion, redirected toward things invisible to crowds. And sometimes, that is exactly where unusual success grows. If this video made you see yourself, or someone you know, in a new way, then you're exactly who this channel is for. We break down real psychology in a simple, practical way that actually helps in daily life. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. Drop a comment and tell me, do you relate to this mindset or not? I read the comments and often make videos from your ideas. And if you think this could help a friend who feels different or misunderstood, share it with them. You never know who needs to hear this today.